Greetings, everyone. I trust you're doing very well. This is King Solomon, and in today's video, we'll be looking into order flow. So the last video I made on um, POI mitigation, right? I think someone suggested that we do order flow next, and I agreed to that. So here is the video. So we'll be looking into this quick lesson on order flow with chart examples at the end of the part examples here, right? So diving into it already, we have that order flow is the mitigation, right, of the last opposite price movement. I should have put in the market here, right? Order flow is the mitigation of the last opposite price movement on the chart. So order flow is divided into two subflows, which are the bearish order flow and the bullish order flow. So the bearish order flow is the mitigation of the last buy before sell price range, while the bullish order flow is the mitigation of the last sell before buy price range. So looking at this part example here is a typical example of a bullish order flow. So what you just want to know is in the bullish order flow, when picking your order flow, you know that price breaks structure to the upside, right? Because of the quote unquote bullish, and price breaks structure to the downside in the bearish order flow because of the quote unquote bearish here, right? So what is order flow itself? So if we're talking about okay, let's use this one here is the bullish order flow. So let's start from there. I said the mitigation of the last sell before buy price range is known as the bullish order flow. So look at this structure. Price from this point went up here, came down to this low, then broke structure to the upside, right? So we had the break of structure at this point. Then upon retracement on the substructure, we can see that we had internal substructural downtrend, right? Internal substructural downtrend. Now, according to this, you can see that bullish order flow is said to be the mitigation of the last sale before buy price range. So you want to ask yourself the question, you want to see, you want to find the last sale before we add the buy that's caused the break of structure. That last sale is known as your bullish order flow, and price tends to come for the mitigation of that last sale before buy, before the next impulse move, right? So what happens is most of the time you can just use this order flow as an additional confluence to your zone. So you've let's say you've marked your normal inducements, you've marked your order block, then you can spot out your various order flows on the chart. Check out if your order block, your supply and demand zones are in respect to the order flow of the market, right? If it is that a plus one confluence for that trade setup, right? So let's look into this. From this point on the substructure, we came down here, went up here, right? We came down as here. I would want to use my paint for you here. Came down here, went up, right? Came down, that's breaking this structure to the downside. Then we bought again, then we sold. So you can see that this was the last sale before we add the buy that caused this break of structure, right? This was the last sale before this buy, right? So that last sale is what we're going to record as our bullish order flow zone, right? As the bullish order flow zone. So that's why I marked it from the point where price started to sell on the substructure to the point where price made its reversal to break structure to the upside, right? So let's invert this chart and look at the bearish order flow. So looking at this, I'm going to make this the last buy zone, and this to red. All right. Okay, so this is pretty it. So for the bearish order flow, it said that the mitigation of the last buy before sale price range, right? So we've been seeing the break of structure to the downside on the normal time frame or on the main time frame you're analyzing, right? Then let's say you've probably picked your demand zone and stuff. Then you want to look for the last buy before the sale that's caused the break of structure, right? So looking at this, we can see that price from this point went up like this, came down to this low, went up, then made this sale, then made the last buy, right? Made the last buy before we now sold to break structure, right? So that's why I would mark this as what? As our last buy before sale price range. That's from this point where price started buying to the point where price sold to break structure to the downside, right? So this is the simple explanation on order flow. This is a simple explanation on order flow. Now, sometimes you might see price neglect your zones, right? You might see price neglect your order flow zones. So what do you do? You probably mark it as what? As an unmitigated zone. You can see this and then into unmitigated, let's say U dot M, all right? Let's say U dot M. Let's say it was not mitigated, price did not tap into this, and then price went down to break structure. So giving us a kind of break of structure here. And in former lessons, I told you guys that once price do not tap into a valid zone before breaking structure, that break of structure should be regarded as what? As a fake break of structure. That's what I do mark as my FBOS, all right? So in this case, you probably even, let's say, you even saw, okay, let me make it like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, right? Okay, let's say you now even saw something like this from this point here. Okay, let me like this. Okay, so let's see from this point here, we now add something like this. And then the fake break of structure. Now on the normal point, you can visibly see that there is another last buy zone before this break of structure, right? And where is the buy zone? This is the buy zone. That's this buy before this sell. Okay. So, but then marking this out as your last buy zone, right? As your last buy zone would have been pretty valid, but it won't be valid because and only because there is an unmitigated order flow zone just above the new one, right? And then this is a fake break of structure. So we do that anything formed around the extreme structure of this of where price is coming from is all invalid, right? It's all invalid. So it means this point, this structural high is invalid. This structural high is invalid, right? So in that case, you'd still bring out this, yeah, you still bring out this, and then you see price do what? Take out your um take out your weak unmitigated, take out your weak zone, then tap into the valid unmitigated order flow zone, right? So just stick that to add that um order flow is the mitigation of the last opposite price movement. Last opposite price movement, meaning in a downtrend, the opposite price movement is what? Is a buy, right? So uh, in a downtrend as this bearish order flow, the mitigation of the last buy before sale. That was the buy before the sale, right? And in the bullish order flow, sell before buy. That was the inverting this, right? That's the sell before the buy, right? So I have to change this back to its normal color. This and this, right? So this is pretty it. And on the normal case, you would have taken your trade from here. Now, note something. This is very, very important. Note that before marking your order flow on your chart, you probably might have seen a valid zone, right? I hope you guys know that these are price ranges and not candlesticks. These are price ranges and not candlesticks, all right? So it might be that your candlestick is around, let's say this is your candlestick. Let's say this is your candlestick. Yeah. Let's say this is your candlestick, for example. So you know that, oh, my candlestick is in the order flow range. So this is a pretty good setup, right? So as I told you when I started the video, I said you are using order flow as more confirmation to your trade setup, right? You want to see if your zone falls into the legit price range of the order flow on the chart, all right? Of the order flow on the chart. So that's pretty what you want to see on order flow, and that's all on the price range order flow part example. So I'm going to go to live examples for you right now. Let me do well to save this. Okay. Okay, so on this is the chart I'm going to be using as the example. So starting from here and ending here. So let's look at what we have here. Okay, so from this point, what can you guys see? There is a pretty inducement around here. There's an inducement here, and then price did what? Broke structure to the downside, right? We had the BOS here. Now, your question now is, where is the order flow? So I won't be marking candlesticks now. I won't be marking our order blocks. I'm just going to be marking the price range, and that's what we're going to be working with in this chart example, all right? So looking at this, it lets me go to the 5 minutes time frame. Okay, I'm just going to do with the 15 minutes time frame, okay? So looking at this, the last buy before this break of structure, where is it? The last buy before this break of structure, we can see that it was from this point. It was from this point. Price came from this high to this low, right? Then went up to this high before breaking structure. So we want to pick it from this point, here to this point, So that's this, yeah. So this is our bearish order flow price range. And then after the break of structure, what the prices do, can you see that price came to tap into the zone? Yeah, price what came to tap into the zone and then went down again to what? To break structure. Price came tap into the zone and went down again to break structure. So let's say you would have taken a trade with this price range. So of course, taking a trade only with the order flow without using other blocks won't really give you massive um risk to reward most of the times, right? Why? Because it's a price range, it's a price structure, and not just a candlestick or a zone, right? So this year you would have used this as your sell side liquidity as a target here. So the next question is, where was the where is this bearish where is the bearish order flow before this next break of structure? Now looking at this, we can see that price was making good moves. I'm going to remove this to the back. Price was making good moves, came down here, went up here, came down to this point, right? Okay, let me use this. Price from here came down here, went up, came down to this point, went up here, then came down to this low, and then went up here before coming towards break this low, right? So where is your bearish order flow? From this low to this high. From this low to this high is your bearish order flow. And then I think we can see price coming to tap into this, isn't it? So you would have taken something like this, right? And your SL as a sell side liquidity. So price did what? Price also cleared this and hit the TP, causing another break of structure to the downside, right? Causing another break of structure to the downside. So let's see the next one. Where was the last, where was now the next bearish order flow? Looking at this price action, you can see that price went up, right? Price went up from here to this high, came down to this low, went up to this point, came down here, and a quick break of this substructural high, right? A quick break of this substructural high, right? So thereafter this, you can see price coming towards break structure downside. So where is our buy to sell? Where is our sell? Where is our buy before sell range? That's from this low to this high, right? If this high had, let me use this. If this high had went above this high, if this high had went above this high like this, you might have just used from year to year as a buy before sell range, right? But then since it did not go above it, I don't think it went above it. So we're using this one here to this high, right? So this is our next buy before sell range. Yeah, our next buy before sell range. Okay, I would actually love to remove this. Okay, so this low to this high. So, and of course, you would have taken something like this here, and your target at where your sell side liquidity, and make sure that as you're riding this downtrend, you want to be conscious if there's any higher time frame demand zone. So if there was any, you would have marked the higher time frame demand zone, so you know that once the price taps into that zone, you would be um conscious of any reversals, right? So you can see that price did what, though took time, but then finally did what, it's the TP. Yeah, it's the TP. So from here again, you want to ask, where is the next buy before sell, right? Since we are still bearish, we broke structure here, right? So from here, I'm sure you can pretty see that price all the way from, let's start from here, went up here, came down here, went up to break structure, came down to probably take out this, right? Maybe as an inducement, and then went up, boom. So to take out this 1 and 2 substructural eyes, right? Thereafter, the break of structure. Yeah. So we add from this low to this high as our buy before sell price range, and price also made use of that to break structure to the downside. That would have given us something as this as well, right? As well. Yeah. So looking at this, where is the last buy before sale? By now you should have, okay, I'm going to give you 3 seconds. Use your eyes to look for the last buy before sale before I mark it. Now your last buy before sale, right? Price went down here, went to this high, came down and went up before what? Breaking structure to the downside, right? So the last buy before sale was from this point to this point. So that was our last buy before sale price range. I'm going to mark it out as well as this. And this looked kind of tricky, though if you had left a bit of SL, right, it would have been saved. It would have been saved. Something like this. Don't abuse my RRO. Don't insult my RRO because I'm not using other block. If I was if I'm actually taking, if it was a live trade, I'd have been using the valid order blocks in this, inside this buy to sell, inside these order flow ranges, right? So that would have been giving us massive risk to rewards. Do you understand? So this also hits targets. Then we tapped into an higher time frame demand zone I marked earlier, right? We tapped into it, and then I started anticipating for price reversals. So looking at, let me see. Um, okay. So let's just leave this one here. So we had a change of character here, right? Very change of character here because this low got taken out, right? This low got taken out. So, oh, no, yeah. So this was a CH to CH. Now, we've now switched towards to sell before buy to the bullish order flow now, right? So now, what's the question here? Where is the last sell before buy on this time range? Where is the last sell before buy on this time range? Looking at this closely, we would have seen that the last sell before buy is, okay, this actually had like equal lows, right? That like equal lows. So the last sell before buy would have been, let's say, from looking at this, we did this sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, then went up here, right? Sell, buy. Then these are really small sales before the buy, right? And before the buy that led to this kind of horizontal move, slightly vertical move, right? So on the norms, I would probably have marked this as my zone, as my sell before buy zone, right? As my sell before buy zone. And I might have marked this as well. If I had gone to the 5 minutes time frame, so because my chart could not reach there, I might probably have marked this point as well. This point as the most recent one, right? Just before the change of character. But on the honest note, I'd probably have had a high interest in this lower one, right? But price went with this, the one close to the C2 and not to the lower one, right? So price went with that one, and broke structure to the upside again. Caused this break of structure to the upside. Caused this, ouch, caused this BUS. So this would have been something like this. And so, right? This would have been something like this. And so on and so forth. I think I'm just going to stop here because I don't want the video to be too lengthy. But then looking from here, we sold the broke to the upside again. If you had marked out your bullish order flow, it would have been from here to here. Price tapped into it, right? Then which one again? Before the break of structure of this eye, what was the last sale? This was not really the last sale because this eye did not take out this low, right? So you might probably want to mark everything here from this eye to this low, right? Price break structure and tap into it and what went back up again, and so on and so forth. So that's all on the market order flow. That's all on the market order flow. You just go into your chart as well and mark out the various structures on order flow that you can see and use them as a confluences, all right, to your structures before after marking your various order blocks. So the point of interest, the price delivery zones you're interested in. So that's all on order flow. I hope you guys learned something. Drop any question you have on this topic in the comment section, and I'm going to give an answer to that. So I remain King Solomon. See you guys in the next video or trade.